Yeah. Welcome, friends. Welcome to another episode of Talking with TJ, the podcast where we explore ideas, insights, and conversations that help us all build a more sustainable, meaningful, and impactful world. Today, we are joined by a truly exceptional guest, Antoni Lacinai, one who most dynamic workspace communication experts on the global stage. Anthony is a renowned keynote speaker, communication coach, and the author and co-author of 14 books. For 6 years running, he's been ranked among Sweden's top 100 most popular speakers, and he's even a bronze medalist in the Swedish Storytelling Championship. Anthony helps leaders and teams communicate with clarity, build deeper engagement, and get better results, all while creating workplaces where people actually enjoy showing up. He's a member of the National Speakers Association Sweden and the Virtual Speakers Association International, and he brings a blend of wisdom, humor, and real life experience. And yes, he will also share this episode with his 13,000 plus LinkedIn followers. From communication superpowers to people as popcorn, from motivation formula to care centric leadership, Anthony is here to unpack it all. Let's dive into the powerful conversation. Welcome once again, Mr. Anthony.
Thank you. What an intro. Where did you find all this? Some of it is on my page. I know that for sure, but
Oh,
some
yeah,
of,
yeah,
yeah, interesting.
yeah. So, Anthony, I would like to know how would you describe the core of your work as a workplace communication expert, and what kinds of challenges do organizations usually bring to you?
So what I deliver is my products, if you will, are being on a stage somewhere in the world, inspiring people and giving them insights on how to communicate better. And the other part is to train people and coach people to be better communicators, whether they are leaders who lead people or people who serve clients or just colleagues who collaborate with each other. And the most common, I would say, I mean, since they are two a bit of a different animals when it comes to what we do. I mean, a keynote, for instance, is well, it could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, but if we do a master class, it could be a day perhaps, or and then it could be programs who are longer and so on. But basically, what they want is to be more productive. They want better results. That's what they want. They want to get those results going, whether it's pleasing their customer better or getting more revenue or something like that. And I help good companies who do good for the planet if they can. I mean, it could be not the one who pollutes and make life miserable for everyone else. But I'm trying to work consciously on the good companies and the good people in it, and focusing on the link between. And here's the thing: there's a link between our attitude, our state of mind, and how that leads to how we communicate. If we're angry, we communicate one way. If we're happy, another way. And that will lead into, that's the key that unlocks engagement and motivation among people. So if you and I have a great conversation, we will both be more engaged and more motivated. And if we are, then we have the key that unlocks performance and thereby results. So that is the chain. So I'm working on most of them, even though my core is communication. It's still about attitude and mindset. It's still about engagement and motivation and how we perform well. The whole link is important. But as a workplace communication expert, I would say that communication by itself means nothing. The effect of communication means everything. So
Okay.
that's why we're always focusing on what is the reason for us, what is the meaning. And if we can find the reason and the meaning, it's much easier for us to collaborate and communicate and lead and inspire people and so on. I hope that makes sense.
That,
What do you think, TG?
yes, it's really interesting. The effect of communication means everything, not just communication itself. Wow,
No, I mean
that's really
it's
that's
a tool. It's a means to an end. It's the way we act in order to collaborate and communicate and get things done.
yeah, that's very
But
interesting.
it's important. I mean, it is important, but not by itself. It's like it's like electricity in a society. Without electricity, it's harder. And without communication, it's harder.
It's hard.
That's why it's we make it easier if we can communicate well, and it's so hard. It's so hard. We think that we communicate well with each other when we speak, and then we expect everyone to understand what we mean. They don't. People don't. We can come close, but it's really hard.
It's really hard. It's really hard. I concur to that. So you've authored and co-authored 14 books. What themes of these books do you focus mostly on, and how do they connect to improving communication and engagement at work?
Well, I mean, I've written actually co-written another book as well with a friend, and that's a complete, a fiction. But it's 14
Okay.
books where I have my name on it. Sometimes it's just a chapter out of many. Sometimes it's myself writing the whole book, and all of the books are about leadership and communication. And then some of them are about how we lead meetings. Some of them are about how we communicate with our people, create a great culture, and so on. One book is only about goal setting and motivation, but again, goals without communication is impossible. I mean, it doesn't give anything. So it's about communication and leadership and motivation, you can say. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I would love to read one of your books.
I'll make
Hope to
sure that you
find it.
can.
Thank you. You've consistently been ranked among Sweden's top 100 speakers. What do you think sets your communication style apart from the others?
Wow, I mean that's people have voted for me to be that, so I probably should ask them. But if I do look into what I do compared to what other people do, it's not really the topic. Many people talk about communication and leadership and engagement and so on. So that's a common topic, I would say. My style is filled with the three communication superpowers that I also teach. And I don't know if you want to come into them now, but I can give it very quickly. I know the
Sure.
importance of empathy, how to connect with people, and how to make it relevant for them. I know how to be clear in my message. So the clarity is the second superpower. It's empathy the first, which means that if I know who you are, it's easy for me to tailor my message to you, making it easy to understand and also memorable. And finally, I know how to deliver it with the right type of energy, which is the third superpower. And that is mostly about nonverbal communication. How do we look and how do we sound when we communicate? So it's pretty high energy, it's really high clarity, and then it's relevant, which means that I care for the people I talk to, and it shows. So that's probably it. Unique selling point or uniqueness for me is
Yeah.
what sometimes people say, "Hey, it's your smile. You really, you radiate something. It's the energy that
I
you radiate. You like what you do." And I say, "Thank you. Well, what a simple thing. Just give a good
I can
smile."
agree with you.
You agree? Yeah. Well,
I
you too, man.
Yeah, I
You
can
too.
agree.
But
Yeah.
then I also have some
Okay.
some unique style of how I don't have PowerPoint, for instance. I have an iPad, and I connect it with a HDMI cable or something, and then I show things. Some things I have imported, like pictures, and then I draw inside those pictures, or I just have that as a digital whiteboard, and it's actually pretty unique. It shouldn't be. It's pretty simple, but I'm one of the few who uses that tool like that, so it becomes more pedagogical as well. So it's a mix of all those things, I think. And you know what? I do tell stories on a stage. I share examples and stories, and I embody the persons that are in the dialogue and so on. So I'm not an actor, but I do act out on a stage, and people like that too. And some people say I'm funny. I'm not a stand-up comedian either, but it helps if people just smile or laugh, because then they let their guard down and they can take in the message clear easier, because they have a good time with me, which I love. I love to make people have a good time, but also to learn something.
Sure, I'm surely having a good time and learning something too. And from the look of things, I see you love what you do. You really love what you do. So, what personal values do you? What personal values drive your interest in better communication and better workplaces?
I've been actually doing some soul searching about this, and it's pretty simple. I just want people to get along. I want people to find common ground and work together and enjoy it. It's like if you have a traffic light in your brain, red light means, sorry, threats, bad environment, toxic, and so on. And you don't want that, right? If it's a yellow light, it's hunting for the next thing, chasing, chasing, chasing. We need both of them to survive. We need both of them to grow. We do. But if it's a green light that is dominant, not completely overwhelming, but dominant, then you are in a safe space. This is where you feel more comfortable than anything else. You are unthreatened. You feel good around people. You like what you do. You like your people. I would like people's brains to be green dominant, if you will. That's my mission. If I can make more people have green brains compared to red brains, then I'm happy. So that's my mission, if you will. I don't know if it's my value, but it is my mission for sure.
Sure. Okay. Listen. Um, if we are to drift to talking about climate actions and environmental impacts and sustainability, um, what are some communication habits that organizations need to drop if they want real impact?
Now we're talking about values. There is no business on a dead planet. I didn't come up with that phrase, but I love it. It's really good. There are no leadership issues either on a dead planet. So if there's anything we can do is to promote and help any organization who works with preventing the climate crisis we have. That's number one on my list. What we can do? Oh, there are many things. Most of them probably would refer to, if you look at the Agenda 2030, into the social goals that we have rather than the ecological goals, which is too bad. Virtual, for instance. Do we have to travel all the time? Do we? And if we do travel, do we compensate those travels? I mean, I do. I'm a global speaker. People want me on site. So I'm doing everything I can to compensate for every travel I do. Planting trees, making sure that I'm carbon, CO2 neutral, at least neutral, hopefully positive, and so on. But it is a guilty conscience still when I'm out. I mean, of course, I try to take the train if I can compared to a plane and so on. But sometimes I can't. Like we have this conversation now. I just came back from Vancouver and I live in Europe. I can't take a train, but I can climate compensate at least. So that's like the minimum, I would say. And that goes for everything, I guess, when it comes to how we communicate and how we meet and so on. We don't have to, I mean, the technology is there. I know that electricity also costs something, but it doesn't cost as much when it comes to our impact on the environment. So that's probably the number one thing you can do. Use technology as much as you can. And then sometimes you still have to meet, but in that case, do it deliberately. Make sure that you are, I mean, simple things. Why do we have to have meat on the table? Why can't we do more green? For instance, just to
Yeah.
give you, a very small example, everything counts. I think that's probably the thing. Everything counts. We cannot stop talking to each other. We cannot stop meeting. That would be then the business is gone anyway. So, but it's a balance and giving back. How can you give back? How can you make sure that you sponsor the right type of organizations? For instance, if you have some sort of CSR program within your company, what about focusing on any organization that helps nature?
Oh, that would be a very good way to go about it. Focusing on
Yeah, I get so
organizations
many
that help.
companies asking me to sponsor this and that and so on, and I say unless you are focusing on nature, I'm not your person. I want to focus on sponsoring, Worldwide Foundation or Greenpeace or anything like that, or smaller organization as well. As long as it's that, it's not that I don't want to sponsor school children or people and so on. And sometimes I actually do things as well. I can go into Ronald McDonald and help those sick kids, or at least the people who around things like that. But it's like without nature, nothing else works. So for me, that's the most important thing.
Oh, that's interesting. I see that you're one of our climate advocates. Then, oh, that's
Yes.
great. So when you say people are like popcorn, How does the idea show up in the behavior to change for sustainability?
I got this from I think I got it from a book on a LinkedIn with a LinkedIn colleague who wrote a book about the workplace, and I think she was the one coined the popcorn metaphor. But basically, it means that if we want the corns to pop, which is like us as employees, if you will, how can we make people pop in the workplace? You need basically two things: you need time and you need energy. Energy then can be translated into good leadership or good attention or caring for each other and so on. And for in my microwave oven, for instance, if it's a microwave bag of popcorn, microwave popcorn, then it takes like 2 minutes to get a good bag of popcorn. And the idea is that the first corns, they don't wait 1 minute 59 seconds and then they start to pop like everyone at the same time. Boom! No, the first ones already after half a minute are popping. And those are the ones who we can call really engaged, supercharged, motivated. They want to do this, so they pop first. And then after a while, the rest of the bag realizes this and everyone starts to pop. Ba, 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 ba. It's just popcorn all over. And then when the time is up, you put this in the bowl. It smells good, tastes good. I'm a sucker for popcorn. I love popcorn. But you will always find some corns in the bottom of the bowl who do not
No
pop.
pop. Yeah.
They are demotivated, they are saboteurs, they don't love to be there, they just want to drag everyone down.
Down.
They are the actively disengaged people. If you talk Gallup language, they talk about engaged, actively engaged, and so on. They are the actively disengaged people. And if you want to focus on them and then make this whole bag of popcorn be in the oven for like 5 minutes, then you burn the rest of the bag. The rest of the bag is not a problem. These are a problem. The ones who refuse to pop. And it could be that they are in the wrong place. Absolutely. Or it could be that we promise them something and we don't deliver on it. Or it could be something completely different. We don't recruit bad people on purpose. So something has happened, either in our recruitment, because we promised them something that isn't true, or it's something about them that they promised us that isn't true. Something is happening here, and we need to handle them because they drag down the whole productivity of the whole organization by about 30% on average, which is huge, huge. So they need to be addressed. The other ones are good, and that most of them basically are good. Like 80-90% are good, but there are still some 10% or something that makes life pretty miserable for everyone else, and we need to handle them, you could say.
Okay. Speaking about handling them, and I think every organization has this few percentage that don't pop. Don't you think that is a role that they play in each organization, since you can find them like literally almost everywhere?
How do you mean? Explain, please.
Okay. Literally almost every organization has we have the workers that are hyperactive and want to be trained and all that, while we have this certain percentage of persons that like you said might not be either motivated or due to either a what we are not delivering what was promised to them or pretty low energy or so. Don't you think, since they can be found like in almost every organization, don't you think that there's a role they actually play in each organization?
Well, I'm not talking about people who are critical of things. They have a role to play. We need people who are not just saying yes to everything. We need people who can say, "Hey, hang on a minute. This doesn't seem right." Sometimes we feel that, oh, they are whining and they're complaining and so on. And it's not necessarily so. We need those people as well. We need those people who say, hey, I'm looking over the horizon. I can see problems coming. That's another thing. They are still engaged. They can be a bit edgy in the way they communicate, but they're still engaged. They are not the problem. The problem, again, are the ones who actively sabotage for everyone else. And we don't actually see them in every organization, and they have no role to play.
Okay.
Absolutely none. They have to be swapped out or change position to somewhere where they can thrive and deliver and feel significant again. It could just be that they are disappointed because they haven't been given the chance that they want and so on, and then they slowly just descend
Jumping.
into chaos and so. So sometimes we can just say, hey, you know what? Let's try you. You say that this is something you like to do. Let's see if this works. If this works fine, then keep doing it. And some people would just immediately pop, like immediately. So we shouldn't be too worried about people who are almost like putting the brakes on if they still do it for the right reasons. So we have the same goal, we have the same purpose, we have the same value system in place, we have the same way to meet, greet, and treat each other. Then everyone doesn't have to think the same, because it's a big difference between conflicts and disagreements. They are not the same. Disagreements can be done in a healthy and respectful way. Conflicts are when somebody wants to win on the expense of someone else. It's a different thing. That's very much more toxic. So that's why we don't want toxicity in the business.
Okay.
We can absolutely live with difference of opinions. That can be very developing for us if we can treat it well, and treat each other with respect and so on still, and feel that comfort and safety. So that's what's called psychological safety as well. When you feel that you can raise your hand and say, "Hey, I messed up," or you can raise your hand and say, "I don't agree," without being punished for it.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
where we want to be.
Yeah.
And not every department, not every team have those saboteurs. Some have, and they have to be handled specifically. But when it comes to people who you believe are whining or something like that, they're not necessarily whining. They can just say, "Hey, I see a problem that you don't see."
Oh,
So that's okay.
so yeah, that's okay. That means we have to fix them. Yeah. So how
Yeah.
do you how do you um, how can companies create a green light culture where people feel safe to suggest eco-friendly ideas?
Agree on a set of values on how you want to meet, greet, and treat each other. What's important for you? How will you do that? If you do that and you keep going with that, it's much easier for people to know if they want to be part of that team or not, if they want to be part of that tribe or not. But you have to do it consistently. It often starts with leaders leading the way on how to act. And having a mentality of helping each other out is really good. Having more of the
Okay.
Ubuntu is really good. I would say
Entitlement,
that
mutual
those are the
respect.
most important things. If you can set that right, we have common values, common ways of working, common things. We know how to handle potential disagreements again. We are in a good place. We respect each other, and we care. The number one word we should always have in mind: care. Care for your people, care for your vision, mission, your customers, and care for the planet. If you do, you're in a good place. If you don't, well, you're probably not listening to this podcast anyway.
Yeah, if they don't, they will not be listening to you. Yeah. So, if from your three communication superpowers, which are empathy, clarity, and delivery,
Energy, yes. Yeah, the delivery is energy. Energy is the
delivery is
third
energy.
superpower. Yes.
Can you throw more light on how they can apply to climate and impact work?
Empathy, so that people feel that you understand them, that you care for them, and that you care not only perhaps for the people then, but also for the environment.
Planet.
If you show you care, just like I said before, if you're curious about how to improve, how to get sustainable growth, not growth at the expense of the planet, but sustainable growth. If you can look at that would, I would say, that's empathy in its essence. I care about you. I care about this planet. I care about the whole thing. That shows, and it shows through your clarity and your energy. If your messages are in line with that, if your delivery style, your energy is also congruent with that you what you say and how you say it match, and your messages are about sustainability, and your messages are about growth in the right way, not at the expense of the whole ecosystem. Well, that's a way to use it. So empathy, understanding the importance, and be really interested in it, and understand and learn about it. Clarity, so that you set the right kind of goals. You know where you want to go with your business, but also with your sustainability efforts. So it's very clear where you want to go, and then energy will be your delivery in that case, that you deliver on what
Yeah.
you aim for.
Yeah. So,
So you don't just say climate is important. You do
do
things as
it
well.
too.
That
Yeah.
matches it, and that's when the real strength comes in. Otherwise, it's just greenwashing, and that's not helpful.
So, and it starts by talking about it and then taking actions. Yeah. So how
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah. I
you?
mean, without actions, actions are values in motion. So if my values are correct, I will act accordingly.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
If I only if I act different to what I say are my values, then they are not my values.
Values.
So that will
So we need
shine
to,
through.
we need to first get our value system right first.
Yes. What's
Yeah, and
important? Who
accordingly.
do we want to be? Identity goals, if you will. Who do we want to be? How do we want
Yes,
to be described? If you have that, then you can start looking into, so what do we need to do and how do we do it?
do it,
But that comes later.
and then we'll know where to look in the right places.
Once you have set your goals, then you will automatically look at the right places. That's how the brain
Places
works.
works. Yeah. So how do you the hybrid and or flexible workplaces? How do they affect engagement around environmental practices?
Oh, I mean, if your purpose is to have a like a carbon neutral workplace and so on, then just having that as a purpose and sharing that as a purpose all the time helps. I don't think that it's a smart move to say I'm going to work hybrid, so half of my day I will be in my home, and the other half I will take my car to the office, for instance. Then you haven't solved anything from a climate perspective. So I mean, either stay home or go to work. I mean, to the office, for instance. Or that's better. It's a smart thing to not be out on the road all the time, for instance, if you cannot avoid it. But it's harder. It takes more work when it comes to creating engagement overall. Not engagement for sustainability specifically, but engagement overall. Because again, if I'm not in the same room as you, the communication will be poorer compared to if we are in the same room.
In
So
the same
you
room.
have to work a little bit harder to get that we feeling going on, so people don't feel isolated and so on. That's not helpful either. They still have to feel that they are part of a tribe, and that tribe has the same common purpose and goal.
Purpose.
And in that common purpose and goal, you should probably have something about climate and sustainability as well.
Oh, yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. So from your level of experience, where do you think that leaders often go wrong when communicating purpose driven or green innovatives?
Where they go wrong, sorry, I didn't hear. In general, you mean, or for specific questions?
In general and also in green innovatives.
Well, one of the things is that we have this idea that just because we said it, people would have understood it, agreed with it, and remember it, and then done something about it. And that's not necessarily the case. I can say something to you, and you will forget it immediately, or you zoned out and you didn't even hear it, or you don't agree with it, or and you don't do it. So it doesn't. It's not enough that I happen to say something and then I can say everyone should now do it. It doesn't work like that. So we have this idea that just because we say it, it's all done. It's not. We have to keep working on it, keep reminding ourselves, following up on things, celebrating wins. There's so many things we can do to keep it top of mind. Because if we don't, then it's just another, I don't know, it's another speech that doesn't matter.
Speech. Yeah.
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 So we need to constantly remind ourselves of what's important. And again, it's not bad to celebrate the wins as well when we do something good. Acknowledge it. Positive interactions is always good, always better than negative interactions. So if we can focus on things that we do well, that it's really good.
It's really amazing and inspiring and empowering also. It's been an exciting conversation all the while. So I would love to the final question. If every listener right now could change one communication habit today to support a greener future or in general, what could it be?
I would say being able to listen better, also
Okay.
to the persons you don't necessarily agree with. See if there's anything within that that you can agree on anyhow. Lift it to the higher level, more higher abstraction level, if you will, and say, so TG, you and I, we both agree that we want to have a happy work life, and then we both agree on that one, and we both want to have a situation where we know our kids will also have a good life as well, right? Yeah, we can agree on
Absolutely.
that. Okay, so now it's a matter of how do we get there? We might have different opinions on how to get there, and we can discuss them. And as long as we can keep that green light going, then we can discuss problems much easier. And then if we just say, you're wrong, I'm right, you're stupid, I'm smart, it's much harder. And I'll tell you, I struggle with that sometimes as well, because when I hear people like climate deniers and things like that, I'm just like, you're not helpful. But it doesn't lead us anywhere if I say that, because again, what will change? Nothing. We will just, battle it out harder. So if it's possible to be, I would say, curious and caring, not weak, we still have to be. I mean, we're still very convinced of what we're talking about here. But that's if it's a way to make people feel a bit more seen and heard, then it's easy for them to also reevaluate perhaps some of the things that they believe, especially when they believe the wrong things, like there is no climate problem, for instance. That's the wrong thing.
That's the wrong thing. Thank you so much, Mr. Anthony. It's been an amazing time with you. And I know you have a lot of guests lined up, and I hope we could do this some other time, probably sometime in the future. I would love to do this again. And thank you so much. What platforms can our guests reach out to you just in case they want to listen to any of your podcasts or your leadership communication tips?
I mean, I share insights on LinkedIn mostly. So if you can spell my name, you will find me. Hopefully, that name will be
Yeah,
spelled right in your
yeah.
material. You,
It's
you pronounced it beautifully, by the way. I've been called
oh,
everything
thank you
from
so much.
lasagna to last night, and so I have all of them.
I'm so
Find
sorry
me
about
there. That's
that.
good. And my webpage is antonilacinai.com. So
Okay.
it's the same. If you spell my name, you will find me there. And I'll be happy to
Okay.
share with you. If you listen to this episode or watch this episode and you find it, somewhat interesting and you want to know more, then reach out to me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn, and tell me that you've been on this podcast, listen to this podcast, and then I'll make sure that you will get one of my books. I will give it to you as well if you want it, TG. This I'm going to send you as a
Sure.
PDF at least. This one,
Oh, sure.
employee engagement, it's really about workplace communication. 20 insights that I've gathered over the last 30 years or so. So I'll do it, but you have to tell me that you've been on this or listening into this one, and I'll be sure that you get it.
So, I guess listeners, you better start listening and follow and engage with him on LinkedIn, and you get a copy of his book for free. Okay, thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us on this insightful episode of Talk Green with TG. A huge thank you to Mr. Anthony Lacinai for sharing your expertise, stories, and energy. Today, we learned how better communication can transform our workplace, elevate engagement, and also even strengthen our efforts towards a more sustainable future. So, guys, if Anthony inspired you, and I'm sure he did, and if you want ongoing insights on leadership, engagement, and communication, be sure to follow him on LinkedIn. Like he said, if you can spell his name, you definitely find him. So if you enjoyed this episode, please follow, share, and rate the podcast. Your support helps us bring more conversations that educate, inspire, and empower people to live and learn sustainably. I'm TG. See you in the next honest conversation. Let's talk green.